Tennessee Alliance for Progress, the most important thing for us as a nonprofit is the democratic process. And it's all about your voices. So when we get to the section of the program where we have Q&A, we hope that you all will be engaged and will fully participate in the program. So thank you so much for sacrificing your Saturday mornings. You could be out shopping, doing yard work, other things, but you're here, and you're here because you care. So welcome again from Tennessee Alliance for Progress, and welcome to all our guests. Thank you.
There are some people who are very skilled at PowerPoint. Y'all like PowerPoint presentations? There won't be one today, okay? I'm sort of old school. I'm more in the newsprint and magic marker phase rather than PowerPoint. I can do PowerPoint, though. I'm Mike Hodge. I worked for the Neighborhoods Resource Center for 17 years. NRC helps neighborhood groups in different parts of town to come together, to organize, and to make progress on the things that they decide they need to work on. For the last whole week, though, I've been working for NOAA, Nashville Organized for Action and Hope. That's a group of 30. Maybe that's why you do PowerPoint, you think? Thank you. Maybe that's why you do PowerPoint, so the newsprint doesn't fall over. But I've been working for NOAA, which is a group of 35 congregations, labor unions, and other associations that really want to see some big changes in Nashville. We're going to mandate through Metro Council that... Okay. Huh? Does that work? I've done this before. All right. Let's hear it for Denise. Thank you. Thank you. So my job in this meeting today is to basically give a brief overview of things, of gentrification and affordable housing, and kind of set the stage, as well as to suggest a few directions that we might take after this meeting. Now, to start with, I want to give us a definition of gentrification. This comes from the Brookings Institution, and it's the best one I've been able to find. It says gentrification is the process by which higher income households displace lower income residents of a neighborhood, changing the essential character and flavor of the neighborhood. Let's go through that one more time. Gentrification is the process by which higher income households displace lower income residents of a neighborhood, changing the essential character and flavor of that neighborhood. So revitalization is actually different than gentrification. Revitalization doesn't necessarily mean displacement. For me, it's the displacement that is the problem. This displacement actually reminds a lot of people of urban renewal in the late 60s and early 70s, when government action took people's homes to redevelop neighborhoods, often without paying replacement value. Displacement also reminds some people of the construction of the interstates through neighborhoods that never recovered. Now, there's three key features of this definition. One is the physical upgrading of the housing stock. Nobody would argue with that. That's something we all want. The second one, though, is displacement of lower income residents from their neighborhoods. Sometimes that's by choice, where people choose to sell their houses, hoping to make a profit and be able to move somewhere else. Other times it's not by choice, when they can't afford the property taxes or the rents that go up, that kind of thing. But the third kind of displacement, in a way, is the most troubling to me, and that's because it's the loss of affordable housing in particular neighborhoods. And that means that people of the income level that used to be there can never move back into that neighborhood. The third thing is really the changed character of the neighborhood, that there's a different population, different businesses and services, and a different culture that comes in. Also, a different social fabric or connections between people, the way that people relate, and possible alienation between groups. Sometimes you have newer residents coming in that don't have a sense of what the long-term residents really are used to and what that neighborhood is like. Sometimes the long-term residents don't understand these new folks coming in. Why do you want to do it that way? And also different housing character. I think that's one thing a lot of people have been very concerned about. When you have a lot of condos, a lot of apartments, a lot of little skinny houses coming in, These are the things that really make people upset about gentrification, the displacement and the changed neighborhood character. Now, some of you all may have been there. On June the 30th, Metro Planning held a forum on housing and gentrification. They hoped to have maybe 100 or 125 people come and really discuss this. There were well over 300 people that showed up. People are really concerned about this. Now, in the midst of all this discussion, these changes, more and more Nashville homeowners and renters are cost burdened. Now, that's a fancy word that means you pay more than 30% of your income for housing. At the same time, new luxury apartments, condos, and large new homes are popping up on lots that used to have small, affordable homes on them. This makes many residents feel like their part of Nashville is being lost, especially when no new homes are being built that are affordable to moderate income people. So what are the solutions? Well, there are no easy solutions. That's why we're all here. We know this is not easy, and any solutions are going to take some work. Today, you'll probably hear about some possible tools that could be used. Shared equity development, land trust, the Barnes Housing Trust Fund, and inclusionary zoning. There are a lot of things that could be mentioned. But you know what? All these great ideas don't matter unless there's the political will to make them happen. And we can't have that political will without building a common vision. So what's the vision for your neighborhood? Who have you talked to about it? How can you really build a common vision between new residents and old residents? If we don't have that, if we're not on the same page, guess who wins? The developers, because they get to do whatever they want. The residents of each neighborhood have to decide what they really want to see happen there. And once we've got that vision, we can take some small steps together. You know, you don't want to take on the biggest problem immediately, because if you don't know each other and trust each other, you get split apart. You want to take on a couple of things that are easier to do together to build the relationships. Because if there's no strong relationships between the residents, there's nothing to hold us together when we come to a fight over zoning or over the way we want housing to look in that particular neighborhood. Now, one of my favorite people to quote is Alexis de Tocqueville. He was a Frenchman that came to the United States in the early 1800s, and he studied American democracy. Now, in 1835, he published a book called Democracy in America, and one of the things he said, in democratic countries, the knowledge of how to combine is the mother of all other forms of knowledge. The knowledge of how to combine is the mother of all other forms of knowledge. Now, the knowledge of how to combine, that's what neighborhood organizations are about. That's what churches, unions, associations are about. And you know what? That's what democracy is about. So new residents and long-term residents have to build that knowledge of how to combine together, and that helps us build the political will that I was talking about. We have to have the political will on a council district level and on a citywide level. I told you I work for NOAH, Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, 35 congregations, labor unions, and other associations. Tennessee Alliance for Progress is a member organization of NOAH. And a few weeks ago, NOAH had a meeting of about 400 people to pick the 3 issues that we're going to focus on for at least the next year, maybe longer. One of these is gentrification and affordable housing. To build the political will across the county on this issues and others, NOAH's planning a large meeting in early 2015 with all the candidates for mayor. We want to have 1,000 people there, getting commitments from the candidates to NOAH's issues agenda. That will help build the political will to make some changes that we all need to see. I'd be glad to talk more about that with any of you after this meeting. So today we're here building our understanding of this issue. But don't forget, it's the knowledge of how to combine. That's the real solution, whether it's on a neighborhood level or on a citywide level. Thank you.